Hey guys, this is Senpai here. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So let's talk about Random Chat. I love this series and I'm so glad I get to make this video. So this theory video kind of turns into a bit of a character analysis. This theory video started off as, who do I think the main character is going to end up with? This theory is based on what we currently have, so if you've only read on webtoons, you're probably up to chapter 49 to 50, which means you're not up to date, unless you've read up to at least chapter 117, which can be found by other means. So if you're not caught up, come back when you are, or watch this video if you don't care. Also, if you want to support the author, I always suggest going to webtoons to read it, liking the pages, and subscribing. It really does help out the author. But let's get into this video. So if you're caught up to chapter 117, you know that our main character Junwoo is finally dating Hanmin, which, yes, congratulations, she is a queen, and in my opinion the best person for our main character to date currently. But I got a little restless and took a look at some of the non-translated chapters. This isn't much of a spoiler, by the way, because the scene that takes place is while they're on a date. So they're on a date, Hanmin falls on top of Junwoo and she gets a bit of a flash to another male, but it's like silhouetted, so we can't really make out what he looks like. And in that moment I thought to myself, oh, what if they don't end up together and they're not end couple? Well, then that means the relationship is over. And if they do end up together, well, it means that they're gonna work through this. But if she's not the end girl, who is? I know people love Yuri, and why not? She's a dope character, awesome, caring, and strong, but I actually want her to end up with Tae-Yang Lee. I think the author's already hinting at this, and I do think that he has some growing to do as a character, but I think he's a lot smarter and well-balanced than I think he gets credit for. He's also my favorite character, and he reminds me of Bakugo, and I see some chemistry between them. He's the kind of sad character that, he lost his friends and his dream of boxing due to misunderstandings and rumors in middle school, and I think he should gain something for all the things he's lost, and maybe this thing that he gains can be love. I also think that him and Yuri would just make a really hilarious pair together. Now, with that being said, I just think that Yuri would be an easy answer for Junwoo, like just the obvious one. I want to see something harder and more complicated. So who do we have left? And of course, this is under the assumption we don't get introduced to any more girls. So the girls that we have left is our original girl, Seong-Young, and our purple-headed yonder, Lila. Lila is a girl he did meet on Random Chat, but the girl comes on really strong, and usually the girl that does that doesn't get the guy in these type of stories. Plus, Junwoo doesn't seem interested. Even when she did fake confess to him, he was like, wow, let's slow down, let's take our time, alright? Which, he pretty much friend zoned her, which is funny because of how obsessed he was with Seong-Young when he barely knew her. It's not that I don't see them together, I just would be really interested in seeing how the author would get them there. So all we have left now, in my opinion, is Seong-Young, and I wouldn't be mad. And I can only imagine the people cussing me out and, telling me that she sucked. Bear with me, let me explain. This couple to me depends on how long the author is actually planning on telling the story. How long this series plans to go on for. The story is called The Girl from the Random Chat, so it would be safe to assume that this story is about our main character and the girl he met on Random Chat, which would be Seong-Young. But why were they both on Random Chat in the first place? They were both sad, damaged, lonely, both from situations in their past. Now let's look into this relationship. Junwoo gave Seong-Young a shoulder to cry on, but they both bonded over their common feeling of loneliness and wanting to fit in. The problem was that Junwoo came off creepy in the beginning, and I know a lot of young guys don't get this, but girls can find men creepy almost immediately because of the lifestyle that women have to live. Girls and women worry about men approaching them all the time, especially the quiet kid who glances and stares at them in class and says nothing. This is harmless, don't get me wrong, but girls feel uncomfortable with it. Seong-Young expresses that in the story to Junwoo, but just on Random Chat when she didn't know that Junwoo was the guy on Random Chat. Let's not forget that the story is from his perspective. He also used the app to push her into talking to him early on in the series, which in hindsight made her probably feel really uncomfortable. This mostly early on in the series. In the current chapter, Junwoo realized that Seong-Young didn't owe him anything for the support he offered her and tried to cut out the relationship with her on Random Chat, causing Seong-Young to lose her emotional crutch, which was the random guy online who wears a bear mask, who she also admits to kind of having a crush on. She starts trying to find him and starts messaging random people on Random Chat, which is dangerous, and this causes Junwoo to expose that he is the bare-headed Prince Charming. This messes up Seong-Young and causes her to talk a lot of trash about Junwoo. Quick side note, I think a lot of girls will hate Seong-Young because she reminds them about themselves. Bear with me again. A lot of girls want to be the confident, I don't care what people say, Hamin type female character when they are really deep down the self-conscious, confidence lacking, care what people think Seong-Young character. I've met a lot of Seong-Young characters than I have Hamins in my life. And I think that's especially a high school thing. I think teenage boys will hate Seong-young because she reminds them of a girl that they felt like they did everything for and never reciprocated feelings, or this girl felt grateful towards them. But let's calm down for a second and look at her story. Her problem is that she constantly needs support, whether it's the creepy class president, her manipulative friend, or a random stranger on Rand chat. She felt lonely and isolated in middle school, so she sticks to whatever she can get now. She finds out the guy she liked and looked up to on Rand chat is a kind of creepy, try-hard, nice guy who has always stuck up for her, and maybe that feels like a violation to her. Not saying I agree with this perspective, just that this is probably her perspective. We only see the story from our main character's, Junwoo's perspective, but what no one wants to realize is that this could be the start of her healing process. So far, our main character has already started his healing process, but he's still using Haman as a crutch for emotional support. Anytime he feels lonely or he feels like he's not worth it, he remembers that Haman needs him, which is kind of like, where is his self-confidence? You know, what happens if Haman and him can't be together because of a possible guy she thought of while on top of Junwoo? Does that mean that he can't count on her anymore? How will Junwoo see that? Will he then lean on Yuri? The class president made a good point when he said, how long will you keep leaning on others? Even though necessarily that's not wrong. Even Tae-Yang Lee, his ex-best friend, said, how long will his confidence be in the ground? Would only women give him his confidence back? Instead, maybe he should develop self-confidence. To me, it looks like Seong-young and Junwoo are having the same journey in different ways. So maybe after Seong-young realizes that the class president isn't right for her, and she realizes that this guy's wrong, and she realizes her own wrongdoings and apologizes to Junwoo and realizes that she needs to stand up for her own self. Maybe after Junwoo realizes that he needs to learn to rely on himself and build self-love and appreciation for who he is, maybe, just maybe, these two find themselves back together. But this depends on a couple of things. Again, how long is this series and how long does he plan to write it? How detailed does he want to go into these characters? Does the author care about fan reaction? Is it possibility that he puts Seong-young and Junwoo together going to be reciprocated well amongst the fan base? Probably not, and will he be able to handle that? Also, does the author have the writing chops to do it? But that kind of brings this video to a close. One thing I do want to touch on real quickly is that I think this story has a lot to do with perspectives. His perspective, her perspectives, and how they perceive themselves and what they perceive that they deserve. And I think the story needs to talk about a lot of personal growth, and that's what it's trying to tackle. And I think that sometimes fans get swept away in the moment of reading things happen to people, where it's like, this guy got bullied and this guy, you know, he's been through a lot, and this girl doesn't seem to care all the things he's done for her. But you guys don't realize that the story is not about that the story is mostly about loving yourself and being able to stand by yourself and appreciating who you are. But again, I think this story is about two imperfect people that might be perfect for each other after some character growth though, alright? But that's all I have to say for this video. Sorry it took so long. And again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm SOO Senpai and Matsune. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day, everybody.